Okay, so last time we talked, we did something called a printf statement, which just tells the user in C something when we wrote hello world to the user. So right now we're going to do something called a call and response, called a scanf statement. A scanf statement, or in some compilers, a scanf_s, which is going to be mine because I'm using Microsoft Visual Studio. So we're going to come into our int main, our main void, and we're going to write a variable. We're going to write int number. Okay, and what this says is this is something called a variable. Int is the variable type. You're going to learn about int, which only has an integer value. You can only do whole numbers. You're going to learn a double, which can only have decimal values. Characters, which only have character values. And strings, which will be string values. But int just means a whole number. 20, 22, 30, 1,000, but never 22.5 or 15.3, none of that. Okay, so this is going to be the holding spot for something. And we're going to ask the user what their lucky number is. So the lucky number that they're going to enter to us using a scanf statement is going to be stored in the variable number. Okay, so let's get there. So let's ask the user with a printf statement like we did before, what is your lucky number? Okay, and we'll have them enter it right there with a little break and our semicolon. Now here comes the scanf statement. So we're going to do scanf_s, whoops, because I'm using Visual Studio and that's how it works. I'm going to do that. And right here, we're going to add %d. Now what %d means is it's going to read in an integer. %d stands for integer as well as int, but they're not interchangeable. %d is only going to be used when we have a scanf statement or if we're giving back out an integer, which you'll see in a couple of minutes. Okay, so this says I'm going to read an integer right here. Okay, then we're going to come out of the quotes and we're going to write ampersand number and then our semicolon. The ampersand number means store that value into the variable number. So whatever we're reading, whatever number, 20, 30, whatever, into %d, it must be stored into number. And that's what ampersand number means. Okay, so now comes the cool part. Now we're going to say printf, and we're just going to tell them so they feel good about themselves that that's our lucky number 2. So we're going to write %d, okay, and then we're going to write that's my lucky number 2, and we'll be awesome with that. Okay, but right here at the end, we have to write comma number. And what that means is the value of number that's ever in number, okay, will be replaced where that %d is. So if we have 30 in %d, 30 will be there because that's what was stored into number when we ask them for their lucky number. Okay, so again, %d means reading in and putting out an integer, and number is the variable that holds that integer. Okay, and we already have our return 0 here, so let's run it and let's see what happens. Okay, so we're going to run it. So right here's my console window. What is your lucky number? So my lucky number is 8. We're going to put an 8, and there you go. 8. That's my lucky number 2, and it talks back to you. All right, so you see right here, I wrote 8, which means it got stored into number, okay, because it was able to be read in by the %d, and the %d right here where the 8 is, it gave the value of number back, which was 8, and then I wrote, that's my lucky number 2. And of course, all of our spaces are there as well that we put in with the line breaks. And that's how you do a basic scanf statement with integers. Next time, we'll learn a little bit more about scanf statements, printf statements, and keep building. Until then.